But you were gonna say something, Di?
I got a question.
Yeah.
So like a WCW, like how cliquish? Whoops. Can you hear us, Kevin?
Yep, I hear you.
Yeah. How cliquish was it there? Because like in WCW, like for example, we had like like the Mexican guys were in a clique, and Flair, Arn, like those old NWO guys clique, and the Minnesota guys, Henning, Boss Man, Mike Enos, they were a clique. Hogan had his clique. It's at the Performance Center, like everybody integrate in between cliques. Like, I was kind of like with every, I knew everybody. How cliquish is it there? And like, what type of people? What like? Were there like maybe like the football player guys hung out together, or like what was it like there? Like in your kind of with the atmosphere of.
How would you explain it?
Yeah, how would you explain that?
With the guys,
who was your clique?
I don't really necessarily know if I had a clique. As far as I knew, I got along really well with anyone.
Right.
They didn't like you at first, though.
But you have an association group of like your closest confidence there. You know what I'm saying? Then you have people your associations and stuff, but like you have a core group of people that you're attracted to, and then like these are your guys. How many people do you have like that?
Well, when Kevin came in, he was everyone was very standoffish with him, but that's how they usually are with anyone new, and the girls are the same way with me.
Give me an example. How do you mean like that? What do you mean by standoffish?
Like you just, when you get there first, you're kind of sitting by yourself, and people aren't rude, but they're also not warm to you, and they kind of watch you. But I prefer that over the pretending to be nice to your face than talking behind your back. It was more just like watching us for a while, and then after they would see that we're helping put together the ring at the coconut shows, and we're saying hello to everybody, then right away people warm up. So I would say that's pretty much how it started. But in the beginning, with you and with me, everyone's very like, they kind of watch you for a bit.
Who was the first person that kind of like maybe like made a connection, like hey, you started to become friends with?
I haven't thought about this in forever. Maybe Ciampa. Yeah, maybe Tommaso, Vito.
The spleen joke.
Sam Shaw. It wasn't really something I was cognitively really thinking of. I mean, I just naturally began to warm up to people. I'm not a person who forces relationships with people. Everyone's always been telling me since I got started, hey, you need to network. Maybe I just hold people in a higher intellectual regard than others, but I don't want to undermine somebody's intelligence to buddy up to them to try to get a job or ask them for favors. I don't think I've ever asked anybody for a job in wrestling. I want to have genuine connections with people. Like, people always used to tell me, try to build a relationship with your bosses. It's like, they're not stupid. And if you're having a disingenuous conversation with them, they're going to know that, and you're going to look like. So I just naturally try to allow my energy to speak for itself around some people, and either they're going to like you or they're going to dislike you. And I think if they want to dislike you, even if you're being a nice guy, they will take everything you're saying and doing out of context. We see that on social media all the time, and they will find a reason to dislike you. But she is right. People were a little standoffish, but I didn't take it personally because, to be honest with you, and I'm not saying this like a tough guy or something, I really didn't
You're just going to have people that are just, just because you two are a couple, you're just going to have people that are standoffish just because of that from the get-go.
And that a lot of people look at you as competition. That's the stupidest thing in wrestling. When I always hear, they're coming to take my place. Bro, nobody can take your place except you. If you're doing your job, you will always have a job. You have to look at people that come in as of a future opponent or a future person that could be your tag team partner, and how do they become a sum of the whole parts instead of this. The one thing that I've hated about this business since I broke in over 30 years ago, which I'm trying to change a culture in Mexico, which is a little bit harder because, the mentality over there is very macho. Oh, I'll show him. He ain't going to do this to me. I'll show up late, the culture, and even the culture in American wrestling is changing. There's a lot of stuff you can get away with now that you couldn't get away with before, like, letting people off for paternity leave. No way that was happening in my era. Taking a day off for mental health issues. No way that was happening in our era. Taking time off because you got a concussion. That wasn't happening back then. So things have changed. Plus, we are seeing something that we did not see when I broke in. Women African Americans, Latinos, more inclusivity, right? Which is very important. Not when it's done gratuitous, though, right? Earn your spot. If you're a black guy, earn your spot. If you're Latino, earn your spot. Don't be given because you're a minority, you know? But things are changing. They have changed. But what I've always hated about this business since I broke in with a passion and I try to change it is the backstabbing, everybody, nobody's really your friend, the sophomoric games, the unwritten rules, all that makes an already hard business even harder. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, absolutely. That was one thing I'll be really happy with upon our exit is like, at no point ever did we ever have a problem with anybody. We never politicked in or out of anything. We never ever had any of those issues. And it was really nice actually to see that you could find success in this industry not being a cutthroat piece of shit. Because everyone always, you'll meet somebody at least once in your journey in this that will tell you, you need to play the game. You need to play the game. Well, how do you feel about this guy taking it? We've never been that way. Like I would rather be honestly like released if the alternative was to be a piece of keep my job. And I really mean that. I'm not making that up. Like
we see people get further in the short term doing stuff like that, but then very quickly after that, they kind of get theirs. And then they're out of the business pretty quick after that.